Hello, my dears. It is Aisling Mooney. Welcome to my 3 top tips to write your book, your spiritual book. Quickly, really quickly. I hope you're enjoying the Angel Cafe. It has been an amazing off the charts morning so far. I've managed to catch a lot of the live streams, not all of them, not some of them, some bits, and some of them not completely. I have to go back and watch a few replays, but I am just loving this space and loving all the interaction and loving your support as well for all the speakers that we have here this time. I get a bit emotional thinking about it. We literally pulled this off in 9 days. We called people and said, can you come? And literally people just came from everywhere, speakers to support you in these 3 days. So just can't thank everybody enough, and feel so proud, and it's just amazing to be part of such a group of beautiful souls, you know, giving their time and energy. So I really hope that you're enjoying it. Please invite your friends, anyone that you know that could benefit from being here for the next 3 days. Invite your friends, bring them along and let them know that it's happening. And hello everybody that's joining me. It's lovely to have you here. My name is Aisling Mooney. I'm an angel intuitive and a spiritual business mentor. And this is a new topic for me. Well, not for me because I've been working on this in the background, but for you, you might know me as the angel oracle card reader, spiritual business mentor. I've helped thousands of people create their businesses online, get paid for their healing gifts. And I've also introduced thousands of people to the angels and the archangels, and I have a whole book and systems and everything around that. So I closed everything down in November. Some of you will know this. I closed a lot. I closed my membership down. I closed everything down in November. And I've been working a little bit in the background, but mainly I've been working on myself, and I have been reinventing myself. I've been really going deep and really thinking about what is it I want to do. You can go on, there's a blog on my website, you can go and read about why I broke my business down. I went into full detail there. But basically I've taken some time, it's almost, 8 months now, to just really think, 9-10 months now, to really think about what is it that I want to do. And one of the things I love to do is write, and I've had a dream since I was a kid to be an author. So I just want to, I'm going to dive into that. I'm going to share my tips. I'm going to share why it's important to have a book written. And I'm hopefully going to inspire you by the end of this call. If you've been procrastinating for years about writing a book, I'm going to inspire you in some way to get started or to make time for it. Before I dig in, I want to remind you of our charity. The threesisters.org is our charity for this year. The Angel Cafe is free. Absolutely not a penny you have to pay for all of this wisdom and knowledge and speakers and healing and the transformation that is provided during these days. And we try to raise awareness for our charity, and our chosen charity this year is Three Sisters. You can make a donation, a minimum of €5, if you feel like it, if you feel called, if it works for you, if you're getting enough value from these sessions, I would ask. And if it's in your financial means, please go and donate to Three Sisters, and we would really, really appreciate that. And if you want to get in the draw, just go to email our team. I'll put the link in the comment in the description. Team AishlingMooney@gmail.com, and with your donation receipt, and you'll be in the competition to win €1,600 worth of prizes. So that is it, my darling. So let's dig in. So I have some notes, so I'm going to be looking down just to make sure that I cover everything. But I want to start with saying I have lived in 5 different countries. I was thinking about this, like the highlight reel of my life. I mean, of course, it hasn't been all rosy in the garden all the time. With severe highs come severe dips sometimes. So life has been like that. But when as for many of us, you know, for all of us, it's called life. This is called life. So I've stood and watched the sunrise in Machu Picchu, like literally Machu Picchu in Peru. I have stood. We were there before everybody else. We had a magical moment, literally on our own in this international treasure and UNESCO site, World UNESCO site. We got there free on a tip, on a little angel nudge, which is a whole other story. But I'm saying I've stood and had this experience of seeing the sunrise in Machu Picchu. I lived for 2 years in Brazil beside an immaculate white, pristine sandy beaches with dolphins in the sea. I've worked as a clown for 10 years. I travelled the whole of Ireland. I've worked with thousands of clients around the world and helped them support them. So it's not, it's not a me fest. What I'm trying to say is the moment that I held my book in my hands was just one of the most emotional and satisfying experiences of my whole life. One of them, because I can't, I do have 2 kids and I did get married to an amazing man. So I'm not going to compare it to them. But to all of the amazing experiences which I've been privileged to have and the work I've been privileged to do, holding my book in my hands was one of the most satisfying experiences. And it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulder. It was like, finally, that is effing done. It's like, because since I was 8 years of age, I wanted to write a book. I told people when I was 8, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be an author. And it took years and years and years and years and years of honestly procrastinating to write this book. But I'm going to go into that a little bit because I think my story might really help and inspire you to get your book written in the world. So I have some notes, so I'm going to just pull my notes up here. So I know there are a lot of people who feel the same, who have a book. Write in the comments now if you know you have to write a book. You've had a dream for years, for most of your life, you have to write a book. Someone has told you recently you need to write a book. You just have an amazing story of something that you've overcome, an experience that you've just gone from one extreme experience to another, where you've pulled yourself out like a rags to riches story, or you've just overcome trauma or something in your life. I would love to hear a yes. So just put a yes in the comment if you've had this feeling, because I know there are many of us out there that have this graw, this desire, this emotion inside of us, this knowing that we are here to write a book. And some of us, unfortunately, just never get that book written. So there's lots of I do's. Yes, I know. Yes. It's like some of us just will never get that book written. And it's not because there's anything wrong with us, and it's not because we don't have the resources or the time or the energy. There's some other factors in there. So I'm gonna go into a little bit, and I'm gonna just share, because when I published this book, afterwards, after all the years it took, I was like, is that it? Is that all it took? Once I got over the shaky finger on the publish button and the shit, is anybody going to buy? And then the first sale came in, and then the second and the third, and 100 sales. And, at this stage, I've sold a good few hundred copies of the book, maybe 1,000 copies, I'm not sure. I should have actually checked that before I came on. But I was still like this when I press publish. But after I had press publish, I was like, was that it? That was effing easy. Like, I spent so many years procrastinating. That was the hard bit, and beating myself up because, I wasn't good enough to write. Nobody would want to read my words. There are still spelling mistakes in this book. I'm hoping to bring a new edition out next year. But there are still some mistakes. It's not a perfect book, but it's my book, and it was a lifetime to come into fruition, and I'm very, very proud of it for that. But and then as soon as I finished that, I thought, that's easy. I'm going to do a deck of oracle cards, and that's what I did. I did a deck of 44 oracle cards. That took a little bit longer. That did take 2 years because I had to work with an artist, but I also wrote the guidebook for that. And I have one more book coming out, a proper big book coming out, Book Mastery, Write and Publish Your Book Faster, in October. That's coming out. The pre-order page will be up soon. And I have a book collaboration coming up in January. And before Christmas, I have 2 low content books. So once I published one, it was like, what the F? This is easy. So it does get easier. So it's just that initial nudge of just getting your first book published. That is the hardest part. And once you've done that, it is definitely easier. And the beauty of it is, if you are especially a spiritual entrepreneur or anybody looking to make some money as a side hustle, a passive income, having a book is one of the greatest passive income products. Amazon sends me royalties every month. They just tell me there's a royalty. I get an email saying there's royalties going into your account, and it goes directly into my bank account. And I'm just still amazed I don't have to do anything for that money. You know, I'm a hard worker. I love what I do for a living. I love teaching and coaching, but I still have to show up and be there in person. But a book is like this asset, like this money generating thing that just works away in the background. So it's a really beautiful asset to have as part of your business package of tools and resources and services that you offer your clients. So let me just forward here on my notes and make sure. Okay, so we're going to dig in. We're going to dig in for any of you that want to write a book. Let me just time check. Okay, good. I have 20 minutes. I've about 6 tips, but if I get 3, I'll be absolutely thrilled. So for those of you who want to write a book, you know there's one inside you. Here are my top 3 tips, and it is easier than you think. And we're going to cover these. We're going to cover time, we're going to cover focus, and we're going to cover commitment. Now, don't run. Don't run. Stay here with me. This is really important stuff. And I know that it's going to shift something in your mind and help you to get started. If you've been procrastinating for years, or you just haven't taken that first step to get your book out, stay with me. This is going to be juicy. It's going to really support you. And hopefully very, very soon you'll have your book out in the world. So let's look at time. So time, it's not going to take as much time as you think. You've probably spent 10 times more time procrastinating, worrying, wondering, putting yourself down, thinking about this book than the time that it will actually take you to do it. So I want to introduce, and you probably heard me talk about this if you've been following me before or you've been in any of my coaching programs, this concept of batching. When we understand batching, everything changes. And even if you've heard me say this before, stay around because this is important. Batching literally changed my life. Batching is how I run my world. Batching is how I get so much done and I show up in so many places. And it's just how I work, because it's part of how I'm mentally wired, that I just can do the same task in chunks of time, in periods of time. So, for example, I created my course, A to Z of Angels. I booked a hotel room and I sat in that hotel room for a day and a night, overnight, and I created 26 videos in a row. And I got wined and dined, and I went and had a cup of tea when I wanted, and lunch and dinner and a bath. And then I went back to my kids the next day. But the whole course was created in 24 hours, basically, the whole course. And it's still a brilliant course, and I still share that with the world. So that's an example of batching. I got my hair done, I got my makeup done, went in, had a whole setup, brought in a suitcase, not full of clothes, but full of props to set up a stage, and I recorded those 26 videos. And that's an example of batching. Another example of batching that I use weekly when I can't get away overnight is my weekly angel card videos that I post on YouTube. I will sit down and record at least a month, if not 2 months together. And I will do all of that in 1 hour. It probably takes about 3 hours. I'll get all my costumes out of the wardrobe, get them all set up. I will get all my props, all my cards. I will get the Google Doc open. I will get the video and camera. I'll get dressed, I'll get hair, makeup, everything done. And then I will press play and I will go 1, 2, 3, all the videos. I will write the descriptions as I'm going. And by the end of that time, I usually can do a good 6 as a minimum videos. They're about 15-minute videos. And then there's probably about 40 minutes in each one of all the content and everything. So that's another example of batching. So you need to find your own time schedule that works for you. Are you an early riser? I am. I work much, much better in the morning. I prefer mornings before my kids and husband are up, and I prefer to have that really quiet twilight hours I'm refreshed, I'm very focused, and I love the quiet. And it's probably the quietest time in the day when the distractions kick in as soon as the phone goes on and everybody gets up and it's movement and action. Summer is quiet, but so it's like, when is the best time for you? Other people work well in the evening time. So you need to find out the time of day that suits you better. You need to understand what way your inner clock works and what works better for you. So, and the reason I'm sharing this is some people beat themselves up. I never have the time to write a book. I haven't got the focus or the concentration to sit down and write a book. No, you just haven't really taken the time to understand yourself, to understand what works for you. My husband is a self-paced learner. What's it called? I wrote it down somewhere. He's absolutely able to do, and he's very consistent. He's able to do one thing after the other thing after the other thing and show up until it's finished. Where I'm like all excited in the beginning, and then I struggle to keep motivated and to keep going with consistency. So I need to add in another element. I need to add in accountability. I'm going to come to that at the end. So it's about understanding yourself. That is one of the keys to writing your book. And there are lots of authors who worked their schedule and their commitments around them. So I'm going to go into that in a moment. So that is an example of batching. The other thing is focus. This is massive. We don't have the same, our mothers 50 years ago, didn't have the same distractions that we have now. Phones, billion-dollar marketing campaigns, vying for our attention, trying to get you to buy stuff, to just to use your data, to get your attention, get your eyes on Facebook, on social media, on streams, on YouTube. I love YouTube. I spend a lot of time there learning and watching videos. And when you get to the end of one, there's another one comes up. That's exactly in your genre, because that's the way the algorithm works. Oh my God, you like this? You'll definitely like this, and this, and this, and this. And then emails, and oh my God, phone calls, and WhatsApp, and Telegram, and Slack I have with my team. So it's like this bombardment of distractions. So focus, if we can give ourselves a focus time. Salman Rushdie, who wrote that famous book, I can't remember the name of it, but I read a quote or an interview of him years ago, and he said something like, what's the biggest gift you can give an author? And it's just time free of distractions and interruptions. If you can find, even if it's only 20 minutes a day, if that's all you can manage in your calendar, but that time is sacred and without interruptions, you will get so much more done in that time than you would in 3 hours where the telly's on in the background, or you're answering emails, or you're stopping, or you're WhatsApping, or whatever. So focus is really important. And we need to set up systems for ourselves. We can set up systems on our computers. We can set up systems in our lives to support us in that. Can't go into it too much because this is only 30-minute talk. But I have this mantra that I use that supports me, and it's create before consume. I heard Marie Forleo say this a couple of years ago, or recently, I can't remember when it was. Anyway, create before consume. And that tells me, okay, if I've been watching a YouTube channel for the last hour, but I haven't sent out the emails, or I haven't written my next book, or I haven't done the 3 things that are on my to-do list for my company and my business and my life today, then I haven't created. I need to create first. I need to do my work first before I consume somebody else's work. Now, it doesn't always, it's not golden, sometimes I break that rule, but I'm aware of it, and I make sure that at least in the morning time, before I start answering emails and everything else, that I get at least an hour of my stuff done. That's without distractions and really just focused, beautiful. It's powerful energy. I'm fresh, I'm awake, I've had dreams, I've had conversations with my angels, and I'm just ready to get on the page and go for it. And I've plenty of tea and I've snacks and just go for it. So create before you consume. I would use that. The third tip, and I don't think I'm going to get to all of them, is about commitment. If you have any questions at any stage, or this is making you think of something, or you want to share something that would support me or someone else, just post in the comments. How is this resonating? Give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up if it's making sense, If you need more information around a particular topic or a point that I'm sharing, anything at all around the book writing journey, I'll be happy to help, and I'll be here for the next few days. Hello, Neve. Hi, Bernie. So for anyone that has any questions, just post them in this comment, the chat below, and I will answer them. So motivating, thank you. I'm hoping that I'm motivated to get up off your bums and get that book out into the world. It is possible. So commitment. Set writing goals to fit your schedule, nobody else's. You're not Stephen King, you know, or any other famous writer out there. You're you, and you have your schedule, and you're in your season of life. If you have young kids, if you have elderly parents, if you have a full-time job, if you are trying to grow your business as well on the side, whatever it is that you're trying to do in your life, if your schedule is full, you need to acknowledge that schedule. Like some people, I haven't done this in a long time, but say when I was teaching one of my programs live, the Abundant Heart program, it's self-paced now, so you can go through it as you want. When I was teaching that live, I remember one girl came along and she was about to sign up, and she was pregnant, 6 months pregnant. And other coaches might have said, go for it, get in there, you can totally do this. And I was just like, do not press buy on this course. You're growing a baby, go and look after yourself, come back to me in 9 months' time and sign up. And then you're going to be able to actually do the course, you know, create your whole business. Creating a fucking business is hard work. Put a course together, niche, mindset, all that, it is hard work. So you don't want to be growing a baby and taking care of a baby and recovering from giving birth at the same time as you're trying to do this, and then beating yourself up because you can't fucking do it because you're not Superwoman. So it's like, think about the season of life that you're in and give yourself some grace. Give yourself some, you know, when I moved from Ireland to Italy, I wish I had spoken to somebody and somebody had the grace to say to me, Aisling, it's going to take you a year, if not two, to settle you and your kids. So set up something so that you have money coming in and you can just fucking relax and emotionally ground yourself in the new country and grieve for all of the losses of leaving home, leaving Ireland. I wish somebody had said that to me, had said to me, you're entering a season of life and things are going to be a little bit rocky, so you need to adjust to sit in there. So commitment is about making commitment and setting things around your schedule and your season of life. And I have 6 minutes left. So I want to just say it's possible for everybody to write a book. J.K. Rowling wrote her book in a cafe with her child because it was too cold in her apartment, with a cup of coffee, and wrote Harry Potter. You know, she got the insight on a train, and then every day she was a single parent, took her child into the cafe and wrote her book. And it was rejected and rejected and rejected. That's a whole other story that we can go into about publishing, self-publishing, going with a company, and I have loads to say on that, but this is not the if you want to hear more about that, let me know. Let me know. Post your comments, anything that I'm not covered and you have questions on, post them in the chat so I will get to them. And now J.K. Rowling is one of the best-selling authors, the biggest best-selling authors, and one of the highest paid authors of all effing time. Never mind that she's a woman. One of the highest paid authors of all time. Like, so if she can do it, we can do it. You can do it. Maeve Binchy had a full-time job, a very full social life, and she wrote her first bestseller, Light a Penny Candle, and she said she had a little pulley trolley with her typewriter, ding, 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 out from under the stairs. She would pull it out, got up early, 6 o'clock in the morning, and wrote for an hour, ding, 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 then went to her full-time job, then socialised, and then came back the next morning and did it again. And that's how she wrote her book. In 9 months it took her. Marianne Keyes, I'm sure this has changed recently, probably because of her back, but I remember reading years ago on one of her, she was writing about writing books, and she said, oh God, I never get out of the bed. I write in the bed because it feels too grand and too proper to actually sit at a desk and write. As I said, I should probably change that now because, you know, as you get older, you need proper posture at your desk. But I thought that was so fascinating. She was already an established, she must have made millions writing books, so millions of copies of books, and she was still like, I can't get out of bed because I'm too scared to say that I'm an author. So, you know, anybody can write a book. And I have some notes finally. Know yourself, know thyself, I've written down there. You know, figure out what works for you. Know what motivates you. Know, do you need a carrot at the end? What works for me is accountability. I wrote this book I put together some of the people in this community came together with me for a month over in August in 2021. And I just said to them, we're just going to show up for 30 days, literally on Facebook Messenger. And we're just going to say, today I'm going to, and for me it was every day I was going to show up and for 2 hours write until 3 pages were done. The first crappy, terrible, awful, shitty draft was done in those 30 days. The editing comes later. We just want to get the words on the page because at least you're not looking at a blank page. Inga Dexney is coming on soon. I think it's tomorrow or the next day. And she's going to be talking about using AI in your business. A lot of those concepts you could use to get the first draft of your book done, which I didn't have. And it would just save a lot of time. Get those thoughts out of your head, get them onto paper quicker, get the first terrible draft done, let AI help you with that, and then the editing comes next. And you can pay people to do that. There's so much I have to say on this subject. You know, you don't even have to write. Lorna Byrne didn't even write her books. She put a microphone and did speech to text and wrote all of these books. So there's literally, I have so much to say. So let me see if I need time. I haven't really got the time. Done is better than perfect. Just get the first crappy draft out there. So that is it. If you want to know more about me, you can go to ashlingmooney.com. If you want some free stuff, go to / free stuff, or free, I think it is. Or just go to my website, ashlingmooney.com, and you'll find out all about me there. You'll be able to log on and you'll be able to see about my next book collaboration, which starts in September. So loads of love. I hope this was useful. Please share me your biggest ahas, the biggest golden nuggets that you got from this, and tell me if it inspired you, because that was the aim of it, that it inspired you to think about writing your book, to make some plans to write your book, to consider that it might be easier than you think, and look at maybe how you could get some support in there. Would a group accountability work? Would a coach work? Looking at the season of time that you're in, making a commitment, cutting out distractions, and really looking at the time that you have available. It is possible. Imagine there are 21 people watching this now, probably a few hundred by the time we get through the Angel Cafe will have watched this material. Imagine if there was 300 books out in the world this time next year because of the inspiration that you got here. Like, that just gives me fucking goosebumps everywhere. My hands are literally tingling with the excitement behind it. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. If this was helpful, please consider donating to Three Sisters. Just go to threesisters.org, make a donation, send your receipt to our team, and you will be in the competition to win loads of amazing prizes from me. Loads of love, everybody. Bye bye.